everybody. Welcome to Y'all Gaming, the only show on the internet that asks, Are y'all gaming? Hold on, let me repost this. All right, tweet this out. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Y'all Gaming. We were off for a couple weeks, but we're back because we got to talk about one of these two games. One of them I have not played because the other game is eating up all my time. But we got two games, a lot of P's in between them. And we're going to be talking about them for a second. But first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Coney, and there's TKbreezy. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good. Yeah, ready to talk about some games. Been having a good time. There's actually another game that just came out today that I want to look into, but I need to figure out how to get it because I'm
Was that?
definitely not.
Oh, was that the
That's about it.
Enshrouded or whatever?
Yeah,
Like,
because I'm definitely not gonna buy it.
mm,
Like, but it looks like it might be interesting. But that could be for next week if I ever get a chance to play it. Either
sure.
way, this week has been a phenomenal week. This has been the first time that I feel like I have been a gamer again, where I have just played 6 to 7 hours of something on stream and not noticed. So
Well, you were on
that's
Grand
been
Blue
very
for
fun.
a while. Was that just not hitting the same?
No, Grand Blue. Like the thing about fighting games though is that like there's a plateau where like in that one stream, like I'm gonna play the best for 3 hours,
Oh, sure.
and then after that it's autopilot and I'm getting my ass kicked. So
Right. No, that makes
uh,
sense.
yeah, so like but this game like I can play the best for 3 hours and then I can plateau and the plateau is still fun. So
Sure.
yeah,
It's
that
not like a like you hit that sort of wall and then everything beyond that point is just garbage. Like you don't know what
yeah.
you're doing anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think there's just it's kind of just lends to um I guess like what fighting games are. So like you are doing good and then you kind of get hit by something, right? You're like, "Oh, damn, can't get hit by that again." You keep doing good, you get hit by something else. I can't do that again. And then you kind of remember all the things you get hit by, so you
Right.
start playing super safe and now you're just getting hit by everything. So like yeah, it's just one like that's something I do not have to worry about when it comes to the next game we'll be talking about. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Yep, and we're going to be talking about those right now. First, though, let's start off with the game that I think we have less to talk about because I haven't played it. Prince of Persia just came out. I was going to play it. I was excited for it. I actually wanted to play a Metroidvania anyway, but now I'm in Blasphemous 2, so I'm playing that instead now, which is very good. But Prince of Persia is out. People are calling it one of the best Metroidvanias ever made. It has all these new mechanics. I have not played it, but you have. What's your verdict?
It is really good. Oh well, I'm not really a Metroidvania like super stan though, so like I
Sure.
feel like I can't really compare it to other ones, but I think as a game in itself and my enjoyment levels, I'm having a good time. It lends to two different types of ways you can play. So like if you want to play like a Metroidvania, like the classic version, you can do it to where they don't give you any like waypoints or like direction, or you can turn that on and have it much easier. I'm playing currently where I just kind of explore the whole map and do what I want to do. And it's it's fun, but then I thought about it and I was like, oh, that's like if I'm like a gamer's gamer,
Yeah.
and I hate when like I'm going somewhere and I like fight a bunch of annoying bosses and I go past them and I go to a dead end and I'm like, oh, okay, now I have to go back and then fight those
Yes.
enemies again, and I'm like, all right, I want to avoid that, so I'm probably gonna turn it on. But the gameplay is fun. The combo system is cool. There's been a lot of clips of people doing like launching somebody and then just keeping them in the skies with like long juggles, and that's been very nice. Very Devil May Cry like is probably the way to describe it. The way the combos go, not as long and not as flashy, but like you can.
Right.
It's that type of gameplay, but in a 2D setting. So I got I'd say about 6 hours into it. I've done, I've got most of the things that you need to pick up to like be a full character. And yeah, it's just genuinely a fun game. I don't know if we're supposed to get rewind powers. I don't know if that was like a Prince of Persia classic, or if that was just like a
Okay.
Prince of Persia thing for the 3D ones.
Right.
But I do kind of miss the first
Being able to
time.
do that, yeah.
The first time you like miss a jump and die, and then you're
The
like,
whoop, the reverse, yeah, that feels good.
yeah, yeah, it was good. But that's not. I don't think that's the thing in this game. And if it is, I just haven't found it yet. So.
I feel like if I played the game the way that you're saying, because like I hear you on like not wanting to run through everything again, have to play the same area because I don't remember what was through there. But I feel like I'd be playing the game wrong. That's kind of what I always run into is like
Mhm.
I feel like I'm not playing the game as it was intended if I do that, but I feel the same way where like I do play a lot of Metroidvanias, and when I do, like I'll look at the map. I'm like, all right, I don't know where to go next, and I'll see like the map with that wall open. I'm like, oh, there's a spot I haven't been to. Let me try to go to that place. And then I go there, and then I still don't have whatever it is to get through. It's like a certain item or whatever, and then I have to leave, and then maybe I'll do the same thing. That happened to me a lot in Hollow Knight, where I kept going back to the same goddamn place over and over. Like, I feel like that's part of the experience, but I would like a game that would better like alleviate that. And I heard that like this game has something like that where you can drop like a time thing and go back to it. Am I making that up? Is there like a
Mhm.
waypoint system or something? Like a
There are waypoints in the game for sure. Like you
okay,
have, there's like a tree that you have to save at. Those are decent amount of waypoints. You can also drop pictures, so you
okay.
can remember that you have to go back there, like or like what you were trying to do, and
Ah,
you can
okay.
see that. And maybe later you can warp to it. But I haven't got that power yet. But yeah, you use the picture to be like, oh, this looks important. I need
Even
to
being able to
remember.
save it is good. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. So there's that, and it's a really cool. I mean, I like that idea because I mean, again, there's some of those rooms where you walk into and there's like a metal crate or something,
And
and
you
you're like,
can't break the
obviously, I don't
metal,
have
and
the thing
then
to
yeah,
break it, yeah. But then you're like, all right, but when I get the thing to break it, I should come back and break it, and so now you can remember that because you have pictures. So yeah,
that's always the thing that annoys me with Metroidvanias. But it's always like it's also part of the system. Like you need that. Otherwise, there's no game. So that's kind of what I run into. So I'm
right.
definitely gonna try it once I'm done with these games. But there's a couple other games I'm playing. Like I said, one of them is Blasphemous, and the game we're gonna talk about in a second. But you would recommend it 6 hours into it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna definitely try to beat it. It's a good one. It's I think it's one of those ones where it's like this is probably like the perfect plane game, and unfortunately, the only way I
Ah,
can really get it on the plane is if I've already got it now, but I got it on my Steam Deck.
hmm.
But you have to log in like the way that you have to do it on Steam Deck. You have to log in on your Uconnect on your Steam Deck and then open the game like that.
Oh, that
And
sucks.
I don't know if I can do that when I'm on offline. So like, like I may not get a chance to play it at
You
all
have to
on the
be, don't
plane.
you? It's on the Epic Game Store too, so you have to go to the Epic Game Store, have that up, then
Mm.
go to the you can. Oh, that sucks. Okay,
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, like Uconnect has its own
launcher, right?
launcher, so I can just do that. But like, still, I'm just like, dude, like, I didn't even think. I was like, I thought, when it came out, I was like, oh yeah, I can get it on Steam. It's not on Steam. So
No,
okay, Ubisoft want to throw a little, throw a little money their way. So I get that. Did you see that thing that Ubisoft was talking about? The creators talking about
not owning
they
your
might go
games or
to us,
whatever.
yeah, not owning your game, might have to do a subscription. So I was like, bro, why do you always take one step forward?
It's weird because it's Ubisoft. It's like I don't know. Like if it was like like if Nintendo said that, people would be like, "All right, that's a thing to say, Nintendo," but like it's Mario. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna play Mario. I'm gonna play like Ubisoft. I could do without Ubisoft games. I'll be okay. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I've never like Ubisoft makes good games, but I've never been chomping at the bit or like desperate to play it. I won't own your games. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. I like Far Cry as much as the next guy, but like
Right.
not enough to be like, wow, I can't believe they're stealing Far Cry from. All right, well,
You can have it.
GG's, bro.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
man. That's
yeah,
yours.
Far Cry 7 will not be for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
protect your IP, bro. Go for it. You can protect it from me, and I will protect you from my $70. How about that? Yeah, I don't really care. I saw it going around. I'm more concerned about the conversations that are happening with this next game we're talking about, and I guess we can finally get into it.
Yep.
Palworld came out, everybody. Now we have talked about Palworld for quite a while on this show. I said it was my most anticipated game of this year because I knew it would be funny. I thought it would be bad. I got to be honest. I thought it was going to be bad and silly, and it wouldn't play how it looked, and it would be awful. Turns out the game is actually very good, and it has shattered some records. It is now the second most played game in Steam history if you look at concurrent numbers, which is absurd. Um, After what, a week? I think
Mm-hmm.
less than a week because we had early access on Tuesday.
Mm.
So, yeah, Pal World is out, and I think we both love it, right?
Yeah, I think one of the things that like I genuinely hate, like it's just a gamer thing, and I understand like this is probably the one that I'm probably in the wrong about, but the overall comparisons to like always like everything has to be about Pokemon. Like, and I get that they look like Pokemon and whatnot, but it's
Hmm.
always like someone's always like, man, It's the amount of first time messages that are just, man, this is way better than Pokemon, or LOL fake Pokemon. And I'm like, bro, just let's just enjoy the game, bro. How about that?
Sure.
Like, you know. But I get that like Palworld has definitely said that they have heavy influence on Pokemon, if not just straight up stealing, because that's one of the conversations that they have. But outside of just that part of aspects of like being um of them being, pocket monsters that look very similar to Pokemon. The game does not play like Pokemon at all. It is a survival game. It is
Right.
Arc, more than anything else. You just have a monster catching aspect in it, but then there's it's not turn based battles, which is another thing that differentiates it. And because it's not turn based battles, I feel like I'm having even more fun,
Right.
you know, with that, because it's like silly. We're in the world and like I'm shooting a gun and then my Gory Rat decides to throw a spirit bomb and like the ragdoll physics. It's just, man, there's a lot of like good little charm in this game
Yeah.
that I feel like is being overlooked because everyone wants to be mad.
There's also like it's kind of soulsy in a way, like with the way
Mhm.
that you dodge stuff with rolls and the way that you actually do combat. It takes elements from a bunch of different games. I think it not taking itself too seriously is also very, like you were saying, that a lot of people do love that. I personally love that. It's so stupid, and I think
Mhm.
the game knows that and leans into it. Um, yeah, I love this thing. I'm a big fan of it so far. I got to the very grindy part. I'm level 38 out of 50, and
Mm.
I haven't played for a few days, so I think I would be higher if I kept playing. The thing is, the levels really do drop off a cliff at a certain point.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the fast way to level is to catch 10 of everything. Um, but at a certain point, like I'm catching 10 of everything at 38, and the levels just are dried up. Takes a lot longer, but I love the game. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I'm level 42 now. Well, 41.
Damn,
And I'm like, I think I played for like 3 hours yesterday, and I was doing like, I was making stuff, I was catching stuff, I was hatching
that
stuff.
bar is not moving.
And that bar is not that bar is
No.
stagnant.
Yup. It's dead center, which is unbelievable. Yeah. It
So yeah.
really scales to a level where it's like impossible to. I don't know what they want you to do. It feels like they want me to do something else, and maybe how many of the bosses have you beaten? I don't mean the big
Two.
guys. I mean the towers.
Two.
So you beat the second one,
Yeah, the Palworld guys, or discourse with there was the one in the so there's one, the first girl
the
with the
Totoro
electric ball.
guy with the
Yeah.
with the Pikachu guy. Okay, what was the second
Yeah.
guy for you?
The girl with the grass, like, Pokemon. It was
Okay,
in
did
like,
you go to the ice area?
no, because like the ice area has nothing but like level 40s and 50s. So I was like, this is probably not the area to be right
Okay,
now.
so that tells me because I did it at the ice area. So those towers, I guess you fight the same boss no matter what tower you go to.
Okay.
Like it's not like the boss lives at the tower because I went to the ice area because I didn't know where else to go, and she beat my. I still haven't beaten her. I don't know how to beat her. I'm still struggling, but I think there are like
Wait,
6 bosses.
do you remember the name of the tower?
I think it was
I You know what? I'm just
yeah,
gonna load up.
it was
I'm
the
gonna just load up.
PAL liberation thing. Like it was that
Oh,
PETA
the
group.
free pal? Yeah, the
Yeah, it
free
was the
pal.
PETA
Yeah, okay,
group.
that's who I beat. So I think we did go to the same place.
Okay, then you
So,
were in the snow area.
yeah, I wasn't in snow area. I had to look at the map. I just remember
Okay,
I saw there's a desert area that has a tower that I have not went into, and then
gotcha.
there's the volcano area that, because I last stream I just did a bunch of exploring. I was like, you know
Sure.
what? I need to open up this map. There's a tree like out in the distance that I was like, oh, that's like
Oh,
a.
that giant tree? Yeah.
I went to it's an invisible wall. I was like, okay,
Yeah, you
you
can't
got
go
me.
that way.
Yeah, you got me. So, but yeah, it's fun. There's other ways to get like, a decent amount of experience, which is just going to the caves. But I can't seem to find enough caves. Like I don't.
They're hard to find.
It was her. It was the Free Pal Alliance in Snow area.
That's
So
the one.
that was the
Okay.
second person. I have one more. I have the Tower of the PIDF. There's another tower in like another snow area called the Pal Genetic Research Unit.
Which
And
sounds
then
awful.
yes, it
I don't
does.
like
And then
that one.
the Brothers of Eternal Pyre tower. Those are all the towers I've found so far with a decent amount of the map open. So there probably is 6 towers. But I just haven't seen the
Okay.
last one, or it's Five Towers. Who knows?
Part of
But
me is wondering if I should go to a different tower because she was like, I used all my pals. They're all pretty high level too, but they just didn't. They couldn't do anything to her. So I was like, all right,
did
well,
you
maybe I got to
level
go
up
somewhere
your
else.
pals at the Lucario
No, I'm not
statue?
leveling up my pals.
Come
I know
on,
I'm
bro.
supposed to,
Don't be mad at the game when you're not doing what you're
but
supposed to
I don't
do.
know. But I might switch out my pals. I don't know what
You can get
pals
them
I
back.
want. Oh yeah,
You
you
can
can
apparently you
reset.
can
I
apparently
forgot.
you can apparently respect. I don't know. What I'm actually kind of upset about is that I don't think you can respect your character.
Oh really?
So yeah, I didn't see it. Like
Are you sure? Really?
let me look it up.
I don't
Power
know actually.
World respect stats. Let's see if that's the thing. How to respect character stats. You can't respect. Oh, you can respect. Okay, because I need to put. I want my second pal guy.
Yeah.
I want him to just work. I want to put all my points in
Sure.
work, so he just done.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. His work speed is just dunk.
just like, oh, I need to make a. It's done.
Done.
So, all right. So there's a way you can respect. Okay, I'm gonna have to go about doing that then.
Sure.
But my first character has she went full into um the stamina
Hmm.
and carry weight, and I was like, this is good. So now, like when I'm doing the thing where I need to bring back a bunch of ore from one spot, I can bring back a bunch of ores from one spot.
Sure.
Um, and that's been super nice. To have to work with, but on the other side of things, um, that means that I can't work as fast because I think the attack and defense are like it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
more often than not, I'm gonna put more points into my pals and let them do everything.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah,
really care about
dude.
it my
Attack
gun.
was such a meme stat. Like,
Oh my god,
why would you
like
ever do that? I started doing it because like, ammo is so hard to make. So I was like, all right, maybe I could stab stuff faster. It's not worth it at all. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
went
it's
straight into
hard.
weight. I'm just doing weight straight up.
That's smart. I mean, it's weight's good too. To be able to carry back a bunch of stuff is really good. I think you were definitely spitting on the fact that like because if you want your attack to go up, just make better guns and
Yes.
find
Yeah.
schematics. Like I currently have a uncommon pistol and I had a common pistol and then I had an uncommon like makeshift handgun.
Oh,
The
that
uncommon
makeshift is
makeshift
funny.
handgun was at like attack 450 when the common pistol was 2 something.
Yeah.
So if you can just find an uncommon anything, you're already up, you know? So now I have an uncommon handgun and that attacks like 600. So I'm like, word, like I'm very much a fan of that.
Bro, that musket is still in my rotation. That thing has 1,000 damage. It's like an elephant gun. Just, dude, I shoot one of those Luxa Relaxus or whatever. I shoot
Mhm.
one of those dudes in the head, goes down instantly. Like, that
I
thing
didn't make the
is.
musket,
You
but I
didn't
did
make a
make
musket?
I made the other single shot rifle, and
Oh, okay.
it does basically the same thing.
It's the
So
same
just
thing. It's the same
yeah,
thing.
just, it's just I have so many clips of like hitting something and then seeing its like body jump.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like the ragdoll. Like all the brain just shuts off. It's
Oh
awful, man.
man. So yeah, but that's the thing. That's the beauty of the game. And I understand that there's like we'll get into the controversy in a second, but I just want to talk about the good things I really like
Right.
about it. It's silly fun. Like the serotonin of seeing dumb stuff like that, or like when you first start off, like even like the very beginning of the game, they're like, all right, go kill a chicken. So you walk up and you're,
Beating the hell out of it with your fists.
and then it dies and it rolls down a hill and you're like, all right, like what what is going on
The
here?
ragdoll definitely contributes to the experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a straight up a very very fun game. And like I'm a guy who does not like survival games. I didn't play survival games growing up. I genuinely do not like that type of game
Yes.
on a regular basis. Like you didn't catch me playing Ark. I don't do Terraria stuff. I played New World for like maybe I'd say like 2 days at best. And this one just captured me. And I think maybe it is the element of having monster. Because I like monster hunting.
Yeah.
They're in any aspect, be it Pokemon, be it actual Monster Hunter. I'll play Monster Sanctuary. Love that game. I didn't play this thing that everyone's talking about, Cassette Beast. I kind of want to get in and see what that's about because
Right. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people talking about that as a um alternative. So I'm probably gonna look into that too. But I just like that style of gameplay. So yeah, I mean it's a good time. Cassette Beast has a 10 out of 10 on Steam. Oh, I might have to check that out.
Apparently, Cassette Beast is good. Temtem is the other Pokemon like that people were
I did
talking
not like
about.
Tim.
I
That
I I wasn't interested in it.
I, I
Um,
I think the first day of me doing Tim, the idea of it was good. And then but like Tim had a very, very flawed grind system
sure.
when it came up to like there was no experience share. And the first like gym took me, I feel like 13 hours to even get to the level that I needed it. And
Oh
I
my
was like, there
god,
is no way I'm about to keep playing this game,
that's
bro.
wild.
Oh man, Wild Hearts. I liked Wild Hearts, but the optimization never got good. I think it probably still isn't good. But the game in itself was very fun. It could be my computer too, but I went to a lot of streams and nobody seemed to have good optimization on that game. So
I remember we talked about that on a previous show, and you were saying that it is just it's chunky. It takes a while to load, and like it's laggy, and the frame rate's not good, and they just never really fixed the engine.
yeah.
Um, Honestly, Palworld performs amazing, and I think that's one of the secrets to why it's so successful. Is like it's running on everything. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
having a good time. The multiplayer servers are a little wonky. I have a friend who
But needs
got
a little help.
I have a friend who got into a multiplayer server, put 6 hours into it, and it rolled back, and it just killed his progress. So that's why I haven't been doing any. Yeah, I haven't been. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, 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 yeah. That's why I'm not doing any multiplayer. I'm scared to death. I'll beat the single player first.
six
Um,
hours into rollback. I would, yeah, I'd end it all. That game would be uninstalled, to be
yep.
honest.
I don't know
Do
if
you know
I'd
how
want
much
to
you
do
can
it all
get
again.
done in 6 hours in this game? Oh man.
Yes, it's a mess. So I don't think I'm touching it. But I think the game does have legs. I saw the content roadmap that they have ahead, which I think is great. As somebody who doesn't care for Pokemon really at all, or that kind of Breath of the Wild stuff, because it is very Breath of the Wild, they're very Genshin, that the open world, like walk around, whatever. Um, this game kind of mashes together my favorite things about those games. Like I played Arceus, and I loved the real time system where it's like
Hmm.
I'm in the world and I'm throwing Pokeballs, and it's not turn based, and it's emergent. It's right as it happens, and this game kind of takes that up to 11. Um, I love it. For me, I think there's this very, and I don't. What I think is fascinating is there are clearly like I, the game has a lot of really bad stuff in it. You can capture a human, and it says that that's considered inhumane and cruel. You can work your pals harder, and then they start crying. There's actually this interesting thing too, where I don't know. You've had this happen. You played to level 42. If you have a sick pal, the game tells you it's like, hey, this pal is really sick, has a broken leg or whatever. But the game also tells you to catch 10 of each. So if you have a sick pal, you are kind of incentivized to be like, all right,
You're fired.
you're
Yeah.
fired. Yeah, exactly. Like, and I don't know how much of it is this like meta narrative about the cruelty of man, because I think the game is actually about how man like conquers nature, but like you're kind of incentivized to not care about how they feel. It's just like, all right, I got 9 other Kadavas who are willing to do the work, so
Yeah.
you either buck up or get going. And it's interesting to me because I don't think it's intentional, but it's creating like I don't know how serious the game is, but it's creating this game, which I think is a pretty interesting critique about sort of just the cruelty of man in a grand sense, just the exploration of the map, getting all these animals to do your bidding, killing wantonly around the West, finding new and better ways to exploit labor.
My
Um,
manager mindset definitely kicked in when it came to because like at first
yeah.
I was like, I felt like I was being a good boss. I was like, oh, you're sick. Let me go make some medicine. Then I was like, yo, making this medicine is time consuming. So that's me being
Yep.
like,
Yep.
it's time to start laying some people off.
Yep, that takes a while, and if you don't have a pal designed to make the medicine, I got to do this myself. I'm the CEO. I'm not making medicine.
I look like, right?
Yeah, you think I'm gonna put in this grass type to make the medicine? No, she doesn't have hands. She can't transport anything. It's
I do think I
yeah.
do not. There's one other thing though I need to do is that like so there's a bunch of settings that you can tweak on your own server. What's up? Tomorrow. Where you going? Are you coming back? All right. All right. Anyway, we that was fast, by the way. Everybody say hi
Hi,
fast, hi
Fats.
fast. All right. We there's just like a decent amount of things that like I want to do now. So you can tweak settings in your thing. One of the things I tweaked immediately was uh, waiting for eggs. You can just turn the egg timer off. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna
Yeah.
hatch an egg, because like the worst part about it is like so the eggs all have different time. So you can, if you have like a huge egg, it may take an hour, right?
Yeah.
But then you can do the thing where it's like, oh, this egg seems a little cold, so you have to put a heater up. And I was like, what if I just forego all of that?
Right.
Don't make a heater, don't do nothing. So you can just turn off the egg timer. So as soon as you put in the egg incubation thing, it's just incubation
It's ready.
complete. And I was like, all right, cool. So now I made three incubators. I'm down to one. I don't need more than one. Like it's a factory now.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing that you can change is how many pals are in each base.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you could put that up.
yeah, I think I'm gonna put it back down to 10 though, so I have more uniform bases because I feel like when I have too many, they start doing too many jobs. When realistically, I kind of want everyone to do like one job, you know.
Sure.
Uh, like I think I want like if I have a kindler, I don't want the kindler to also chop wood. I want you
Start
to
mining.
kindle
Yeah.
and I want you to maybe like carry stuff. Like that's it. But
Yeah.
they always find I had like a kindle like kindle level 3, and whenever I like start to put the kindle, like one of the level 1 kindlers to do it. So he'd be over there level 1 chopping wood, and I'm like, bro, the AI should know what I want you to do. Like you're on this farm for a reason, and it's to make ore, to make ingots, and here you are chopping wood when there's a level 3 chopper right here who will do it much faster. So that's the thing. The
Dude,
cap on how many
whenever
people you can put up is 20,
I
I
was
think.
gonna say, whenever I put a water pal in my base, I'm like, all right, I need you to work the crusher. You're gonna work the crusher and get me some of that pal extract or whatever. And they always be watering the berries. I'm like, I don't need
Bro.
berries. Stop spitting all over the berries. We have 800 berries. I need you to work the crusher. And then my
Yeah.
serpent goes back into the berry. Like, yeah, I think having more focus in that regard is probably a good thing. Yeah.
I have one pal that is just a refrigerator because I had another one that was like he was a refrigerator and a water and he kept doing water. I was like, all right,
Yep.
you're fired. You're doing too many jobs. Like like this is also the manager mindset where it's like I feel like this
Yep.
guy's going above and beyond, but I was like, but you're not doing the job that I asked you to do, so now you're fired.
Yep.
And
Work
I'm
your
gonna hire
role.
a guy that knows one thing and one thing only. So now I have this fox that only has ice power that just lays in front of the fridge. Just lays in front of the fridge. Just I'm doing my job. I'm like, you know what? You're hired. This is the type of team player attitude that I needed. So
Do you feel like you're cheating, changing the because that's why I didn't do it. I was like, I feel like I'm not playing the game for
I
real. You know what I
I
mean?
think in a sense, I think because I didn't change anything but just like the egg timer is just the egg timer. I'm gonna get that egg regardless. I'm just speeding up the process.
Okay,
Um, so I don't feel like
sure,
that's one that I really care too much for. But if I were to change anything like uh catch rate. Like that's I'm cheating. You're
sure.
cheating for that. Like, like look at all these cool legendaries I had. Your catch rate is 100%. Of course, you just walked in, threw the ball, and then left.
Throwing a normal ball to catch a legendary. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
little.
yeah. So I'm not changing any of that. I'm just changing this. The most of the stuff that I changed was for productivity, but I think I'm literally going to limit how many people I can have in a base instead. So I have to be a little more conscious about that because
Sure.
you can, you get to having 10 people in your base at like what level 12 or something like that. You get it pretty
Yeah.
early. I'm just going to limit it down to 10 because I now have 3 bases. You might actually get a fourth base. I just don't know it yet. Um, and if I get 4 bases, having 10 pals at each base it seems very like exact in what I want to do. Like I want this base to be for this stuff. I want this base to be for this stuff, and it just all makes sense.
What do you think about? Because the thing that I was gonna turn off, I didn't look at it in the settings, but if it was there, I hate weather conditions in games. I hate it if my character's cold and loses HP. I hate having to put on the hot clothes for the heat. Do you think that's cheating? Just turning off the weather factor.
I mean, that's kind of
Okay.
that one's a little because like that's not that hard, bro. Like you can
But then
there's
I gotta
pals you can sit
go and
on,
do it,
and
man. Like,
bro,
I don't know.
there's actually an easier way to do it too. There's a shirts you can wear, like not like
Oh, the
armor, but like
underwear.
accessory shirts.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
So if
saw
you want
that.
to do that, like, but then I guess that takes away 2 slots. So I feel like that's unfortunate. And if you're trying to like use that for other things, let me see if you can actually change that though. In the custom settings, you can change day speed, night speed, experience rate. Man, I bet I know somebody had this joint up to 5 million on experience rate. They like caught one. They caught
Going
one
up to
thing
50.
level 40. Like
Yeah.
PAL capture rate, PAL capture appearance rate, which will affect game performance. Damage for PALs multiplayer, damage to PALs, from PALs and to PALs. PAL hunger depletion rate, PAL stamina rate, PAL auto HP regeneration rate, PAL sleep health regeneration rate. Damage from player. What? Oh, damage from you. Okay, from and to player. Player damage, player hunger depletion, player stamina depletion, player auto regeneration rate, player auto regeneration, or player sleep regeneration rate. Structure damage,
Mm-hmm.
maximum number of items dropped in the world, which that probably affects performance too, but it's currently set to 3,000.
Sure.
Gatherable items, gatherable HP, gatherable respawn, dropped items, incubator time, raid events, which I've been thinking about turning off because when I'm trying to do
That's
stuff in my
so
base
annoying.
and they pull up on me, I just leave the base now. Like I
Yep,
just
me too. Good luck, guys. I leave the base and then I come back and there's just a bunch of corpses and one of them like moving them into the bot. Like one of them is rescuing and I'm like, thank you. Yes.
thank you. Yeah. The death penalty, you can change that. Which I
Death pen? Oh, you mean? I
yeah.
thought I
So
thought I thought I hadn't unlocked it. I thought you meant like the death penalty, like for a bad pal. Like
oh
I thought like an execute like some pal committed a crime, and I could turn that off. I was like, damn, that's a moral issue. I see what you mean. That's like when
So
you
you can change it to currently you like with the regular is just you drop all your items. You can change it to drop all items except equipment, drop all items and all pals on team. And I think that one is
that's brutal.
that's brutal, bro. Like yeah, because normally what happens is you drop your and then you like fly back to it and grab it.
Yeah,
If you drop all your items and your pals,
yeah, dude, it's gonna take hours. It's miserable.
and then number of guilds you can have 20 and max pals working on base 20, which again I'm gonna set down to 10.
Yeah,
Like the max you can have is 10, but you can also put it all the way down to just one, which I think is hilarious. Like just one guy at the base, like trying to do as much as possible. You're just like, all right. So yeah, there's a decent amount of stuff you can change. I'm definitely gonna change mine back to I think 10 is probably a good sweet spot. Because I don't know, maybe the game doesn't render well enough, but sometimes do you ever like warp to your base and they're all just kind of standing around for like the first 5 seconds?
oh, dude, yeah,
So I wonder if
all the
that's like
time.
a game thing where it's like it's loading the base, and because I have so many pals now, they just happen to do that. Because I don't remember that happening in the early game.
No, I don't. I think that is it because they still move. Like my guys are just standing around, but they're like stuck in a different animation, and then they like lock in. Um, yeah, it takes a little while, but I think
Yeah,
it's fine. I love the game. We've been talking about it for a while, but there
yeah, most
have been quite a few controversies, and I don't know if we need to talk about it for a long time, but
we can
uh,
just go over them real quick. I
yeah,
do think that that really says a lot, though, that both of us have like we don't really get to sit here and like really like kind of gush over a game for long. Because I feel like normally
yeah,
we kind of have like not more muted takes, but it's more just like, oh, game's good, it's cool, it's chill, it's whatever. But like we're just like, damn, this is a fun game, and really enjoying it, and like that should go a long way. I know a lot of people are like, is it worth? And I really hate telling people that stuff is worth because worth is relative to what you feel is like good to you. What's worth to you and what's worth to me are two different things.
right,
But I will say, if you have an extra $30 and you have some time, check it out. You've probably watched a bunch of streams for it. You looked up a bunch of information for it. Now
right.
you got to do your own firsthand experience.
I mean, if you don't want it by this point, you're not gonna want it because there's so many people
True.
that have played it. People love it clearly. Um, it's got so many players on Steam. If you're not into it, that's fine. But I don't think anybody's on the fence anymore. At least they shouldn't
Yeah.
be. Have been a lot of talks about similarities to certain Pokemon, which are absolutely true. Um, it's weird to me when I see people on Twitter that are like, "Wow, Nintendo owns the rights to penguins. I can't believe they made a sheep." It's like, yeah, but those sheep are not. Come on, like let's be
Yeah.
honest. You don't need to make a sheep a ball. Like both of the sheep in Pokemon and Palworld are just spheres. Like they
Yeah.
know what they're doing. Anubis is Lucario, and that's okay. But let's not be dishonest. You know what I mean? That's the thing
I
I
think
think that's frustrating me the most about this.
I think also too is that like there's two ways to go about this. It's like one, I think after 800 or almost 1,000 Pokemon, it is just very hard to make something that is not going to remind you of one anyway.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
so like there's that. But two, yeah, the Palworld guys definitely were looking at that.
Clearly.
They were looking at like a Pokedex and was like, how could I tweak this to put this in our game? There is a grass thing, like one of the bosses that
Yeah.
looks exactly like Cinderace. Like, bar
Oh,
none,
I know
it's
who you're
just a
talking
grass
about.
Cinderace.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, bro. Like when I went to go do the boss battle and he was doing kick attacks, I was like, when he was doing, he was like, oh, it was like seed, whatever, seed machine gun or whatever, but
Yeah.
he was doing it with his leg, and I was like, okay,
Come on.
like,
Yeah.
I was like,
A
all
little
right, bro,
blatant.
y'all didn't even try this time, so, but like, I think that regardless of what goes on, like, both those arguments are valid. There's too
Yeah.
many Pokemon to where now Pokemon even look like other Pokemon. There's like 8 versions of Pikachu, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
That's a good
but
point.
at the same point, you guys definitely kind of leaned a little hard into it where there doesn't really feel like there's a lot of original. I think there's maybe one character that I felt like was pretty original, and that was Tomcat.
Oh, right. Yep.
And at the same time, I that might not even be original. That might look like if you look hard enough, it might be a Gligar.
Right. Yeah. It's weird because like I don't even know if it's an argument where like other people will care about it more than I do. If that's something that bothers you, that's fine. I personally don't mind if my Cattiva looks like a Meowth Wigglytuff. I think that's kind of funny. Um, and I think Nintendo can stand to be they're gonna be okay. What I think is funny is that Palworld. I don't know if you saw this, but Palworld comes out. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're gonna get sued. They're gonna get sued. DMCA, C&D, whatever." And Nintendo doesn't say anything. But the moment somebody made that Pokemon mod, immediately killed that guy. They were like, "No, don't touch it at all." Which I think is extremely funny that they were just sitting on the side letting this rock, and then the moment anybody does anything, they shut it down immediately. Um, yeah,
I
I think
that
it's
guy's
a
bold for
funny.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently he
you're
was
bold for
selling
that.
the mod. By the way, I don't know if you knew that, but
Yeah, I saw he had it was blocked behind Patreon. Not that,
that's
come on, bro.
crazy, dude.
You're insane for that. Like,
Yeah,
don't do like it was one thing that you already tried to monetize, or you already tried to use the IP, but to try to monetize it, like Nintendo's like, you're not making money off of us.
yeah.
Like, not like this.
Stop, bro. Like, oh, Tax brought up a good point. Somebody in my stream recommended this, and I've been thinking about it ever since. And now that we talk about Palworld, I'm curious. So I hate that you can't change materials between base, because I have an ore base, I have an everything else base, and then I don't have a third base, but I can't transfer them. Is it worth just having one big ass base? Like having one spot where you put 3 bases in, so all your materials are there? I think that's a good idea, man.
You can't overlap them.
You can't?
Now the circles will say too close to another base. So I was wondering, like,
Okay,
if I
alright.
could Venn diagram the base and put like
Exactly, yep.
one big chest right where the Venn diagram is, that would be lit. But the workaround for that is basically, I don't know if the last time you seen my stream, but I have my ore base has the box right next to the fast travel thing. So
Sure, so you just
I
plant
like,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I load up, and then I'm over encumbered or whatever. I warp over encumbered. I drop it. I walk forward to where the next block is. I pick it up, go over encumbered again, and then turn around, put it in the base. It's a little. It's not.
It's
I
not
wouldn't say it's.
elegant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not elegant, but it definitely works a lot faster than me trying to do it with and not going over the weight limit.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I was curious because I hate the whole like having because like it's not like you need it for fast travel. I thought the bases you were gonna need to be able to fast travel and like move around. There's so many fast travel points. You're fine. Um. So yeah. Okay. Well, we talked about Palworld for a while. Love the
is
game.
there
Big
anything else
fan of
that
it.
they had me? Oh, the AI
People
thing,
were talking about
which has
the
not
AI
improved.
thing, which is not, but yeah, because apparently the dev has something about AI, but I actually don't mind. So I
Uh
personally, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Don't get me in trouble. I have for a while on my streams played AI games, as in like, there's a game on a website where it gives you like a scenario, like you're about to get charged by a rhino. How do you survive? And then you tell it how you survive, and the robot decides whether you live or not. It writes a little AI prompt. I don't mind AI games taken in that way, in the same way that like I have seen stuff like that where it feels like it is making fun of the AI or it's like part of a thing. And the reason I bring that up is because the Palworld devs apparently made a game called AI Imposter, which is the idea is a bunch of people make art and then one of them is making art with AI. You're trying to see who it is. I don't think it's that bad for that because I do think that's a funny way to frame something. However, it is, of course, using AI art, which, ethically is taking art from, a bunch of people without their consent. Like, I get it. I do. But I don't necessarily think that that game is indicative of using AI art in a way that would be harmful. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think that's the same as what people are talking about. Maybe I'm just drawing weird distinctions. But apparently the game has not confirmed to have AI in it at all anyway, so who knows? It has been confirmed to apparently like one-to-one steal some models from
Yes.
Pokemon, which is like I think worse. Um, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the part of the definitely the plagiarism, the copyright, all that good stuff. But I think I don't even know if that like I can't see how illegal that is to be able to take a model and then like kind of revamp it to work for your game. But like
Right.
what that's like some I had to look into some. I had to get one of my lawyer friends to really let me know if that's like actually illegal or not.
Yeah.
Uh, it's funny though that like AI is like being seen as so like there's just a lot of animosity toward it. Um, but it like there's definitely good applications of AI, but I think that the way that like some people like they just hear the word AI and they immediately go tired, like
Yeah, of
just
course.
irate. There was that thing they were talking about how Foam Stars has used AI art or something in some of the backgrounds of its stages, and like people are like upset about that. I was like, bro, that has literally nothing to do with the gameplay. Like you can't
Yeah.
even interact with like whatever little billboards are in the back or whatever dealing with that. So like in the grand scheme of things, could that have been used for somebody else? Sure, but like, is that like the point of the game? No, it's a shooter. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be paying that much. Yo, look at that bat. Look at that. Look at that billboard. That's funny. Oh, that's AI. I can't play this game.
It
Like,
was that way with High on Life, which is that. Oh, by the
hmm,
way, apparently the model thing was a hoax. I did not know that. Thank you.
well,
That's okay. Well, then that's out the window. Jesus, what is there to
hmm,
complain about? Um, I remember in the game High on Life, which recently came out, they used AI for like the posters in the kids' room. So there's like a teenager with like band posters or whatever, and he has like it's all AI generated, which I think is fine. The whole point of the game is to feel kind of alien and different and weird. So it's supposed to be a little off putting. I think people have the idea that like artists should make that, but artists are making the rest of the game. Do they need like is this poster is having to make these poster? I don't think that's a big deal, but I guess it's like you have to be sort of absolute on this. It has to be zero tolerance because otherwise corporations will see that and they'll be like, well, if this is fine, then we could do this. We could do this. So I do get it. Uh, it's not my word of wage, I guess, which is why I'm not really, I'm not an artist and I'm not a big corporation. Um, I I think if it's small jobs, like who cares? But I think people do care, and they care for a good reason. So whatever. Um, that's just me though. So
yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I think at the
as
end of the
someone who
day,
works
I
in
will
design,
be.
that kind of stuff is the just the tedious stuff. Kind of, it's more to me like yes, the artists should have jobs. They should be able to do that stuff. Are making posters in the kids' bedroom for flavor in the first 5 minutes of the game like is that worth? Okay, you can make that argument whether or not it's worth it. I don't know.
Yeah, and like again, like I mean, if someone ever has like a valid point to like tell me that like I can be more, because I just right now it's just not clicking to me that these are like really big issues. I think if you're like if you like if he had fired someone to make just because we have AI now, like yeah, that'd be
Yeah, of
absolutely
course.
shitty.
Yeah,
Like, hey man, we really like your art, but actually we just use computers now, so we're letting you go. Like I would be like, okay, that's kind of. But if they're just like, hey man, who cares what's in the room? Just throw something up there, and they just kind of threw it their AI generator and slapped it up there. But the rest of the game has nothing to do with that at all.
right.
I can't really say I care.
That is a good point though that I keep sort of glossing over that I don't really recognize, which is that AI art is built on the foundation of actual artists whose work is being stolen from them without consent. So I do gloss over that and I don't bring that up enough. That is obviously a very valid concern and maybe that just throws everything out.
Yeah.
This is not an AI podcast. You're absolutely right. That does make sense. Um,
Okay.
it's a weird conversation. But Palworld has no evidence. Palworld is innocent of such things currently. Might not
Yeah.
be in the future. So
Yeah. Down with the robots. Yeah. There we go. That's basically what we meant.
kill all
I'm
machines.
I'm
Yeah.
doing a 180 degree turn. AI.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Spin it around. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for y'all gaming. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. We're going to go play some Palworld, I believe.
Definitely gonna play some Palworld.
Yeah, I need to hop back on. I want to make a multiplayer server, but one, I'm scared of the rollback, and two, I don't want to start all over.
Bro, but like you know what to do now.
Yeah, and I think it'd be faster with people.
Yeah,
because you can do
I
different
mean,
stuff.
hey, bro, like, are you streaming today? Are you gonna hop on that second stream?
I think I might be streaming. The issue with me streaming is that my kid is sick today. So I don't know how sick she is. I might need to take care of her tonight. I was gonna stream at normal time, 8 p.m., but we'll see how sick she is. She's not feeling good, so we'll see.
Yeah, you've been a gamer because you've been hopping off the mainstream to go play on the other one, and I was like, oh, all right.
I've been playing quite a bit. It's a fun game, and I might be on it tonight.
All right. Well, we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This will be on YouTube. This will be on Spotify. I think Apple as well. If you guys want to, rehash the episode. It's a longer episode. We haven't done like a pretty long episode in a while. So thanks for sitting around for all 45 of these, the 46 of these minutes. And if there's any ad stuff that we throw on top of that, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.